What's going on, YouTube world, Twitter, people of the World Wide Web? I'm going to discuss a theory of mine that not just came to my attention through the mysterious workings of my mind. Um, Lately, I've been trying to discover exactly the process required to build new cells. The body's capable of building new cells, and at some point in time, um, this ceases to continue. For what reason? For what reason can a 4-year-old grow brand new sets of teeth? Um, Same with infant. An infant isn't born with 2 sets of teeth. They build teeth and then build a backup set, as if you're supposed to lose your teeth periodically throughout your life. And stem cells as well. Why is the body able to create, you know, stem cells at the beginning to grow organs, 10 times the size of what they were when you're born? They're not born with all of them cells just sitting dormant, waiting. Something is creating those cells, where the basic cell structure is then created, and then the brain programs that cell to whatever part of the body that it needs to go. And since mitosis or cell division is capable in most cells, but not organ cells. Organ cells cannot split indefinitely until there's no more resources to actually split the cell. And a copy of a copy, eventually, if you're just making a copy of a copy, because no new cell that's made from DNA memory, so it's made like brand new every time instead of a copy of a copy, which gets distorted and incomplete after so many copies. It just occurred to me that how you could, in a sense, attack this system would be through the digestive system to get you to quit absorbing said requirement to build new cells. But to go even a step further, the the vaccine system that you have to go through if you want an education, or at least a public one, it's a 3-step vaccination system where a virus or antibodies are injected into the body that seek out stem cells on their way to said location to where they're supposed to replace a new cell. These antibodies then recognize the stem cell, which is different than every other cell, until it gets to its location or gets programmed, if you will, to a specific location wherever new cells are required. And it looks completely different than any cell that's been assigned a duty in the body. So these antibodies then think that this is a virus, or behave towards it like it was a virus, and they attack it, and then the body expels the antibodies while producing more antibodies for it. So you're given a small dose as an infant so that the body starts training to do, to attack this. And then at kindergarten, or before your first year at school, you get another vaccination that kind of ups the intensity of these antibodies or the production thereof. And then once you get to high school, I believe it's like freshman or sophomore year, they're mandatory shots that you have to take. And I hated it. I didn't know what it was, and I hated it. It was my basic instincts telling me that this is some shit right here. But then you get your final dosage, if you will, in your pre-adulthood. And at that set in time, you should have been eating so much crap, waste, that your body no longer is producing near amount of the elements that it needs to produce the demand for new cells. And the antibodies that have gradually been raised through your adolescence now can keep up with the amount of stem cells that are actually being produced. So you get to a point where you're not harvesting enough materials, and the antibodies are getting any stragglers that you happen to be able to produce. And you no longer can produce new cells of any kind. You cannot make new teeth. You cannot repair organs. You cannot stay young indefinitely until the body is designed to wear out, rather than cells designed to wear out. The battery life is supposed to be, roughly 1,000 years, which would mean that the cells of the battery should be designed to last that long. But if the cells inside the battery are what's the word I'm looking for? If they're faulty, then the entire system, the entire body, or the entire battery made up of cells will fail indefinitely. So it is my conspiracy theory that this is what the vaccination system is actually for. And in tune with your diet, rather than your liquid-based fuel intake, allows for you to live about 1/10 of your potential lifespan, and about 1/100th of your lifespan potential in your prime and youth. And this is, again, a theory of mine. But every single cell, virus, what have you, is susceptible to a certain radio frequency. Cancer, disease, healthy cells. Everyone has its nemesis vibrational frequency that will destroy those cells. So, if there's an antibody that's preventing you from producing ridiculous amount of youth and health and vitality, there's a frequency that will destroy those antibodies and free us, from that disservice that our handlers decided to serve us with, not for our best interest, but their own. So it's only a matter of time before I figure all this shit out, and the fountain of youth will be freely given to everyone, and y'all can go fuck yourselves.